everybody to AI Infra. We're here with David Isaacs from AI Paths, who's not too far, just our neighbor right here. So
just the booth next door.
Great to have you here. David, maybe help us understand a little bit about what you're building.
So AI Path is a tool for analyzing where growth will come from next. We are iterative, continuously understanding what features to build, which customers are growing their interest in what you're doing. And we're creating experimentation. So we're solving these data gaps that companies have in figuring out how to target, what to advertise, but most importantly in AI Path, what feature to build next. So we're all about clarity on where growth will come from.
So like hugely important. But
Yeah.
David, correct me if I'm wrong, that also feels kind of more qualitative as opposed to quantitative. So how are you bridging that gap with AI?
So we've recently won a $1 million competition for our work in this.
With Google.
It's called the AI Agent Global Challenge. And it is for our work in applying compound AI, which means we're learning from customers. We're bringing that to the AI, which is kind of static in a way. And we're helping continuously put out experiments, learn about your customers, learn the weak points of your competitors so you build the right next feature.
I see.
Yeah.
It's always kind of nice when you can compare, like, with us, without us, and you say, well, obviously there's a huge ROI. Maybe there's like a fun, interesting story about when you were able to help folks kind of cross the chasm.
Right. Well, so some of our best customers are agencies who are doing this kind of strategy work for multiple clients. Even accelerators are using it.
Okay.
But one example is that I used to charge between $500,000 and $700,000 for this kind of work.
Hourly.
And with and with AI Path now we're helping consultancies bring the cost of that work down by maybe 100 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
So what do you, I mean, I know this is a little bit of a tricky question, but where do you see things going in the next, like, say, 3 to 6 months? From a model perspective.
For sure, yeah. So we're working with accelerators to help them give really hands-on detailed support. It's very hard to find any consulting on what product strategy you should take on. We go down to the feature level and all that research is really expensive. So agencies and accelerators are now giving away enterprise grade strategy around product and go-to-market that they couldn't do before. So these partnerships are very meaningful to us. We're also co-selling with Microsoft.
Watch out McKinsey, I guess, right?
Well, I think I really like helping the next rung of consultancies do like 2 or 3 times the amount of work for the same price.
Yeah.
Or even half the cost of what they're doing.
Very true.
Yeah.
Taking some mud off the racetrack. So you mentioned there was an engagement with Microsoft.
So we're part of a program with them where we co-sell with Microsoft to their customers.
I see.
That's just one of the partnerships that we have that we're very excited about.
Yeah.
We also have some upcoming data partnerships on the way. I will announce when they're properly inked.
Okay, sure.
But yeah.
And we'll announce them on Silicon Zombies, right? I'm sure.
Well, no, that's awesome. So so like the 3,000 startups, the 18 enterprise trials that we're doing in multiple countries, the multiple accelerators that we're working with across several countries.
Yeah.
We're hoping to deepen those relationships and make a real ecosystem of investors understanding customers, investors understanding the companies and understanding how they're targeting, understanding at a very deep level how to help the companies they're investing in. That's a nice benefit for the VC side, but
otherwise it's just a check, right? And you gotta differentiate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think hands-on support is a very valuable thing.
Yeah.
And not everybody is capable of doing that, especially family offices.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to provide a system that both helps with the reporting to the VC, but also the VC can provide the guidance and the relationship because now the startup can clearly say with clarity where growth is going to come from, maybe get that follow-on funding, maybe get that connection to an important influencer in a new category. And now everybody is operating with more data because it's not random data. It's really product strategy data. It's designed to be execution.
I see.
Yeah.
So the zombies, we love a good story. We love it because we, brains, right?
Yeah.
We love brains.
Yeah.
So it's like smart people like yourself.
Yeah.
So, we love also hearing great stories about maybe you could help us understand the aha moment. We're like, wow, this is really something we're gonna go all in on.
I have 2 really good examples. One is I was working with a bank that was the national bank of their country. And at the end of the program, we had 92 recommendations. And I was thinking, how are they going to decide what to do now, next, and never?
Yeah.
Right? Because these are all heavily validated ideas for growth, and everybody has too many ideas for growth.
And they probably all had their own, objectives as well, which
right.
is like,
Exactly. So we built a model. Back then it was in Excel. Now it's much more sophisticated.
sure.
But the model helped them connect every initiative for growth to what business impact it would have. So if churn is your problem, these are the features, this is the positioning. If acquisition is your problem, a different strategy for every customer segment. And that was the beginning. It was an Excel spreadsheet that
Wow.
started a lot of things in what we do.
Yeah. So you mentioned there was two.
Yeah, two. I think something that really gives us confidence is that a life science company, we did a 3-hour demo for them
Yeah.
live, and we analyzed 11 different customers in the chain, from the doctors in a clinic to the nurses and the administrative staff of retirement homes and the families of the people in the retirement homes. And by combining 11 different customer journeys, we found all the issues that cause the problems in getting people to complete the second and the third dose of a vaccination.
Wow. So
And
you're,
we
you're
figured
like
out the
mapping
software
out
layer.
the entire
That's
journey.
That's data that's usually too expensive.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So like $200,000 of journey mapping. We do probably the most advanced journey mapping in the world.
Wow.
And we continuously update that understanding with the experiments that we're running on all of your touch points. And so we're learning and just helping you iterate, because your product's alive, your competitors' products are alive. Nothing stays the same.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot
like a
of
living,
people,
breathing thing.
yeah, and a lot of people think of marketing and sales as selling the static product. How do I sell this product? But now we're making sales and marketing learn how to do that, how to prioritize the next features.
David, how do you? First of all, your pitch is awesome, and I hear a lot of pitches, and I want to see a demo.
We have an absolute live demo. Just
Sure.
go to aipath.one, put in your company's website, upload your pitch deck or your sales brochure. You'll start with a competitor analysis. You'll understand your competitors better than you ever have before. You'll map customer journeys of multiple customer segments. The free trial does one customer,
Sure.
but you have an end-to-end strategy for your product, for your marketing, for your sales, experimentation assets to get new data. And you have this strategy per customer segment that helps you actually get things done.
Sure.
Decide what business impact you want to do. Prioritize your business impact.
It sounds sufficient to whet the appetite, get people more interested in what you're.
It's
what you're building.
it's as good as any 10-week accelerator.
Yeah.
At the end of 10 weeks, you get a lot of benefit from an accelerator. We're trying to bring so much data and fill those gaps that on day 3,
Yeah.
you're way ahead of where you would have been with traditional means.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, we're disrupting the innovation of innovation. So
Wow.
we're selling these
Innovation
tools to
squared, maybe.
consultants. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Typically, people use consultancies and experts.
Sure.
We're trying to arm those experts with the hardest parts of their job to solve.
So I understand, like, being able to aggregate knowledge. In fact, that's what a lot of these LLMs are doing. But it almost seems to me like
Yep.
like your team is aggregating wisdom in the application of that.
We're aggregating customer validation.
Yeah.
So by creating data that you've never had before about your customer, each different customer, about each different competitor in Series A and Series C and the big guys, and for your product and all the possible future versions of your product.
Yeah.
We create 3,000 simulations at a time. We rank those simulations for the business impact. We help you prioritize which ones, and then we help you get real customer data. And that cycle never stops. That data gets fed back. So LLMs are great, agents are great, swarms of agents are great. We're doing something different. We're doing compound AI. So it's continuously learning from the experiments we're giving it. So we're deciding what data we want to collect. People say data is important, but what data will actually help you prioritize one feature over another, one customer over another, one idea over another? We're designing that data to be collected and brought back into the model.
So I have a two-part question for you, David. One of which, how do you know that the data that you're getting is high quality, like sufficiently large enough, and also like the quality is sufficient?
Yeah.
And then also, how maybe you could give us like an example of like a recent win that you've had.
Sure. For example, the quality of the data it's a good question, but it's not the end of the question. The thing is, how do we check whether that data is accurate? So we love AI, but we don't trust AI on its own.
Sure.
Which is why everything in AI Path is designed to be testable with your customer. They are the final source of truth. So it doesn't matter how interesting our data is.
Sure.
It's about the options we create and how they apply to the end-to-end workflow of the product team, the marketing team, and the sales team. And so that becomes a way for you to take it to market, test it, what they really want. We'll help you with surveys and understanding those surveys. We'll help you with multivariate experiments. You don't have to learn statistical validation. You don't have to learn scenario modeling and risk analysis. We do that in the back end for you.
Like Bayesian systems, is that kind of how that works, or
something like that? Yes.
Yeah.
So we do risk analysis, and we don't say AI has the answer. We say your customer has the answer. You just don't know how to ask him.
Sure. And maybe a recent win that you've had that you're excited. I mean, aside from winning the competition, congratulations.
I think there are some technologies that are so amazing right now. We're doing a lot of deep tech commercialization. So people with patents and science, one of them, they move electricity across the surface of your skin. So you can separate the battery from a product, so the product can be much more powerful because the battery takes up so much space. Another was
How far are we talking? Like 6 inches,
1.5
a couple feet,
almost 3 feet.
Wow, that's that makes a big difference on
So your
product
night vision
experience.
goggles, your night vision goggles or your VR goggles, you can have the battery on the waist without a wire, potentially. Do they go into military tech? Do they go into healthcare and remove wires from electrodes? Do they go into, which customer will be the best for them?
Yeah.
We're helping them examine so many variations. The source of truth is there, and now it's testable.
Yeah.
Another really cool company has the technology to be able to, it's so interesting. They can move data in a way that helps you understand how different parts of your body is interacting with other enzymes. So we can't help them with that science, but we can help them understand what applications they can look for across target markets. Another customer was a life sciences company. And we collect so many customer journeys. We help them understand that the problem wasn't with the drug or the effectiveness or whether people liked the drug. It was actually the systems for testing before every vaccination. So potentially we had that tiny 1% impact on helping save somebody's life because they completed a vaccination. So all these things are very validating for us. And we're doing something that nobody else is really trying to tackle, which is what is the tool for strategy in the world?
Yeah.
And we're trying to give a tool that the strategy isn't conceptual. The strategy is turned into what are the best next steps. Let's test those and learn from those tests and just keep iterating until we get to product market fit.
But how do you quantify the total available market for something like that? Because strategy touches literally everything.
Yeah, I agree. And
so, like our TAM is 100 billion trillion gazillion dollars, right?
Our TAM is
massive,
$18 billion. But we're not trying to take away work from consultants. We're not trying to take away work from agencies. Yes, you can use our tool self-serve, but our hungriest customers are agencies who now have data gaps solved in a way that makes a big impact for our customers. For consultancies as like myself, it's very hard to go into actual individual feature product strategy. Now you can do that in the same project instead of saying this is the biggest opportunity and then after 14 weeks we have to leave. AI Path is that tool that you use every day, connects the leaders in those key teams. It's continuously learning. It's continuously helping them make a decision. What's the tool for decision making that is applied to product strategy? It's a missing thing.
I could see you guys spinning up your own VC fund and being potentially pretty successful
That's
as well.
actually on slide 14. So if anybody wants to invest and help us close our round, we're 3/4 of the way through. But slide 14 is all about the ecosystem that we're building between the agencies and the startups and the money. And these like smart investors and helping them connect and validate how much to invest, when to invest, and how to know that the startup is making progress.
Sure.
We're connecting all those sides of the marketplace. And yes, we would like to provide safe for service at some point so that we can give you the full enterprise version of the tool.
Gotcha.
Take a tiny safe, and if you don't want to give 6% to an accelerator today, maybe in the future, we'll help you make most of that progress self-serve.
Beautiful, beautiful. So David, is there a website? You mentioned it already. Maybe let's mention it again for the zombies here.
www.aipath.one. And have a look for us. We help you with your product strategy, your go-to-market. We help you make decisions based on business impact. So we hope to help you find product market fit.
Beautiful. David Isaac from AI Path. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you and the zombies.
Like, right. Enjoy the rest of the show here. Take care.